Adam Collins and Damien Fleming. This is Crick Buzz Centre Stage at not just the best World Cup final of all time, not just the greatest one-day international of all time, perhaps the greatest white ball game ever played. How could you define it any other way? Astonishing scenes here at Lord's.
It was still also the best super over I've ever seen in World Cup history. Colo, it was just amazing, wasn't it? And how mighty were both teams. And obviously England went on to win the game, but New Zealand didn't lose anything, did it? With their efforts, their strategy and their execution. And they were just so close to winning their first World Cup final.
No side lost, did they? And it really felt that way at the end. The dignified way that both sides reflected on the performances in the post-game. It felt like a celebration of the best of our sport.
No, it did. Williamson, all class, emotion from Owen Morgan, wasn't it? You know, what about Ben Stokes, having to go back for that super over there? Jofra Archer, 6 months ago. Is he playing in the World Cup? I don't think so. And now he's a World Cup champion for New Zealand. Jimmy Neesham, he almost got him there in that super over. So many stories that the current players should be really proud of. And for England cricket, on free-to-air, massive crowd here. What's going to be the ongoing effect from that? For New Zealand, obviously all the fans watching back home, why wouldn't you want to be Williamson and Santner and Henry and Bolt and those sort of guys? And then for 50 over cricket, that often gets questioned. Tell you what, 50 over cricket's alive, and we won another 150 years of World Cup finals.
And another 102 overs like today. Just bizarre, the super over. I mean, we barely even talked about it on the radio call. It didn't really cross our minds until about 10 overs to go. If scores are level, we're going to a super over. And the way they became level in that final over, the 6 from Ben Stokes that just made it over, the one in the penultimate over that did likewise, the 4 overthrows off Ben Stokes' bat, he put his hand up in a sportsmanlike manner and said, no, those runs shouldn't count. He wouldn't have taken them had it gone to a fielder. But instead, the equation narrowed. Essentially 2 sixes in 2 balls in the final over of a World Cup final. I can't quite compute everything that happened, Flem.
Well, I'll tell you what, you've put up a lot of scenarios there, but also I think the execution from the bowlers, the fields that were set were fantastic. I reckon both teams did it pretty well. On a wicket that I think the batsman will say it didn't come on, you never actually felt in, but I thought Stokes and Butler hung in, didn't they? Butler scored at a runner ball to show what a freak he is, but Stokes in the end, it was him, it was bottom hand, he was able to muscle it that way. Thought the fielding was outstanding from both teams, like there was a lot of potential 2s out there and they were cut to 1s. I think New Zealand playing it back, I think, and then the type of team, they're a classy team, they don't want to make excuses, but I reckon they were really unlucky. Weren't they? They were really unlucky. That bat, it goes for 4 overthrows. No one's fault. The thrower in did the right thing. He went to the danger end because if they'd got Stokes out, it was game over, and it wasn't a bad throw. Stokes is actually, he's not even looking. He got himself in. Bolt's runouts. How good.
Two of them in a row.
And the first one, ugly pickup, but he got it in the stumps. So many stories there. And even we talked about New Zealand, Nichols and Latham, had an average World Cups. They had their best game in the final. So, a lot of the New Zealanders, I reckon they should be proud of their efforts. And for England, massive. You're the number 1 rated team. You've dominated for 3 years, changed the way the game's been played. A lot of expectation. And it was a real arm wrestle today, but they are the World Cup champs.
There's 2 things I want to ask you about before you wrap it up. We could talk for 2 hours, Flem, but the 2 things are the fielding, influenced by 20 over cricket, not least the IPL. You talk about Trent Bolt, but throughout the day, that's where 20 over cricket is having its best effect on 50 over cricket. It's the athletes these players now are in the field in all 3 disciplines.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot more set plays than even 4 years ago in the 2015 World Cup, wasn't it? Because they play so much T20 cricket. They know their hitting zones, isn't it? The actual homework they do on each player. Do you protect one boundary and take it out? And we're going to bowl that wide. From a strategy point of view, I thought it was outstanding. From an emotional point of view, it was doubly outstanding.
Just in closing, Flem, what it does for English cricket. The sport has taken a back seat in recent years. away from free television. That's where it was today. That feeling there, that felt like this was the start of something, didn't it?
Well, there's so many heroes, isn't it? Well, Owen Morgan as captain, we want to follow him. Joe Root, Jason Roy, what an unbelievable white ball cricketer. Bairstow's a fantastic player anyway. Jofra Archer, what does that mean for the West Indian community here in England? Rashid, what a great bowler he is. So, no, I think it's just going to rejuvenate cricket in England and good on them. Fantastic.
Fantastic World Cup champions, England. Brilliant New Zealand in defeat. It's been an absolute joy bringing you this World Cup for Crick Buzz Centre Stage. Adam Collins and Damien Fleming signing off at the home of cricket. We'll talk to you again real soon.